Drop the beat on this joint.
This is the Gumbo Cafe
with your hosts, Shani and Diyah.
Gumbo Cafe 347-202-0388. We were in hiatus just for 2 weeks. Really, it was hiatus on the air. Well, actually, just on the Gumbo Cafe. If you all have not listened to any of Gigi's archives on Sex Let's Make It Better, we did 3 shows on, what was I about to say, the Kama Sutra? On the chakras. But and how it correlates to sexuality and enlightenment and reaching that point in connection with the person that you are having sex with. So if you have not heard it, go to the downloads here on the Women Radio. It started off with our show first 3 weeks ago. Then 2 weeks ago it was on Gigi's show. And then we continued on as special guests with Gigi on Sex Let's Make It Better last week. So that aired on Thursday. And we've been busy. Even though we've been off the Gumbo Cafe, we have been busy like I don't know what. Diyah has done her event. Yay. How'd it go, boo?
Yeah. It went well. I actually got back so many thank yous and so many great reviews and stuff like that I'm actually thinking about adding mantras to my readings permanently. And,
okay.
You know, I might event. One person already said as soon as they do the next event, they're signing up. And the other person said just let them know ahead of time so they can start saving up and things like that. So I might do another one next year because I like talking about abundance. You know, I like talking about expanding yourself and creating life the way you are. That's, you know, I love doing it. So I might do another one and make it a little more intimate, a little more maybe not one-on-one, but do like a smaller group and make it more personal.
Well, you know, I'm glad that you started out first because she and I, for those who don't know, we talk about stuff all the time. And we were talking about doing events and, you know, starting classes with the knowledge that we have. But I'm glad that she started first so I could go to her and ask her some questions because it's different when, you know, you see the videos, you hear the recordings that people have and all that. It's different when you hear that and you know somebody who's done it. So to hear her experience, I know I'm going to get the 411, the full 411, the way that it worked for her. You know, she's being cool right now. So I still got to know where there are glitches in the system. You know what I'm saying? So that's the conversation she and I will be having. And then once we discuss that, she and I also discussed talking about the path to the tree of life and doing that as a class in the future. Not in the near future, but in the future.
You did not have to sound so depressed saying that. You really didn't.
I'm tired, man. 2.5 hours of sleep within 24 hours. I am tired. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to make it sound depressing because knowing and learning about the tree of life isn't depressing at all, especially when you know about the sephiroth, the colors, the plants, the tree, everything that you can imagine in each sephiroth, along with the archangels and how it all comes together. When you see a butterfly fly, it tells you where you are walking, that path that you're walking in, and the different levels of heaven. So, I mean, it's so much and I don't want to get too overwhelmed in my mind. I guess that's why I was trying not to get excited. But it's a lot, and, you know, it's one of those things that she and I did, and I will have to discuss later because you have the paths, you have the sephiroths, and we have to figure out which route we want to take. I know Diyah's saying she want to talk about the paths, so we might do that first. Although the paths, there's more paths than there are sephiroths, but anyway.
I think I'll do the sephiroth first because it'll make the paths a little easier.
Right. Thank you. And we won't even get to the 4 heavens. We can't do that yet. the four worlds. We can, for those who think we're talking like crazy right now and this is all foreign to you, yes, it is a little bit foreign, but if you pick up your Bible, and it discusses the tree of life, and there's even some hidden stuff in your Bible about the tree of life and the Sephiroth. It follows along with, the paths follow along with the alphabet, which is our lovely alphabet that we have here, minus a couple of letters. The alphabet is the Hebrew alphabet. And those nice little 3-letter words or 4-letter words like aleph, bet, ta, all of those things that you see on the side of scriptures are carrying you through different levels when you read that scripture in the tree of life. And it's so beautiful when you think about that, too. I mean, the Jews, you have to love them. You have to. You know, some of the things, yes, you have to, but the way that they included the information in there is beautiful. It's sweet. Then you also have the comedic side of it, too. That's a whole other world, whole other topic, and a whole other day. We're not just going to stick to comedic right now. We're just going to familiarize people, well, not today, but we're going to familiarize people with the Jewish way of understanding so that it can expand your mind. And then you could go even further in understanding what this tree of life is inside of your body. How does it even correlate to the chakras, you know? So, yeah, we'll be talking about that. It's a lot, but we'll break it down.
See, that's why I want to open up, because she gets so excited when she starts talking about that.
I get excited, and you know, you're probably going to be mad at me, but I was holding the package back because I got some more stuff to send you. And it's even more than what you could ever imagine, Diyah. But I get excited when I hear people talk about Diyah and Glammy Witch are doing some things. Glammy and Marianne from Akashic Inspiration. They do different stuff on a different channel. They do Google Hangouts and stuff. And I love hearing people talk about archangels. I love hearing them talk about archangels. And then to see my background, I don't talk much about my background when it comes to spirituality. You know, most people just figure I was a minister and you know, I grew up in the church, but that's not the case. I grew up in a family that is very spiritual. And the training that I had as a child, it was so foreign at that time, you had to keep a lot of it hidden. So to see Diyah talking about making spirituality practical with doing the rune readings and the astrology and all of that, you know, I love seeing that, because for a time our family was ousted because of the things that we knew. So to see this generation doing it, you know, my generation, who's very vocal about this knowledge, and it's like, where are they picking it up from? You know, and it's not even, well, some of it, I wonder why they picked it up, because they're barely reading. But and they're just going by hearsay. But to see people actually doing it when it was something that was so common for me, it's now I can breathe and say, I'm here. I'm amongst my peers. And I'm thankful, because for a time it used to be, you know, just the hippie generation that was into, they call it metaphysical at that time. And, you know, I saw the appearances of angels in the room being filled, and I saw the rebirthing and all of that, and I've experienced it myself, but to actually hear other people talking about it, I do get excited about it. And the Kabbalah, which is one thing that Diyah, she is excited about me talking about, that's something that I had delved into later on in life. And it's one of those things where you have to really take your time in studying it. Numerology, that was one of the things I learned as a child. Astrology, that was one of the things I learned as a child. You know, and I still have my chart that my mom did when I was born. So, but to see everybody doing it now, and it doesn't matter what race, color, it's beautiful, Diyah. Do you understand what I'm saying to you?
Yeah, I understand. I don't feel so unknown. Remember how when we first met, we both were very cautious of what we said to each other. We tried to drop we tried to throw hits near to each other just to see, just like to poke the bear. We was very cautious. So yeah, I know exactly how you feel. Or now it's like out and open, and you can speak about it openly without going to the insane asylum or someone saying headache or stuff like that. You know, heresy and all the other kind of stuff. So yeah,
right.
Totally.
Yeah, because we were very reluctant. Because we met, she and I met on a Bible study.
I don't think we shouldn't have been there, but I mean, because everything was meant to be. But that was a wild time.
Yeah, it was a wild time. It was an interesting time, but I will say that it did open up my mind to even more things. You know, and during that time, I was going through some changes mentally and spiritually, and I'm the type of person, don't put me in a capsule. You know, and it frustrates me when I see people trying to put people in this box that they don't exist in. They don't need to be in this box. Everybody is a spirit. Spirit is constantly moving. So to see people put somebody in the box with a title, I can't stand titles. Diyah will tell you I do not like a title in a minute. You know, and the whole thing about me being an ordained minister, it was I had that title, and along with the title, I had doctrine that I was supposed to follow. Doctrine does not even relate to spirit. It's totally opposite. It represses spirit. And we, whenever we pick up the Bible, what does it say? And the spirit moved. Didn't say, and then it will say the spirit rested for a time. In Revelations, the spirit rested for a time, but then it came out again. So, you know, you can't allow something that is so big and so powerful to just sit still and not breathe. When you allow it to breathe, when you allow it to connect to other spirits that are of like mind, not like mind, allow it to connect to the spirits that are in these vessels that are allowed to move because we all have free will, to see that light when it comes together, and you can recognize that light. It's as bright as this moon that we see right now. I'm sitting outside and I'm like, this moon is beautiful, even though it's about to wane. But it's. I know I'm using beautiful again. I know I have other words in my vocabulary, but again, I'm tired. But some things you can't explain. You can't. But to see that light that is just so, it's like a bonfire. It draws you to it, and you want to be near it. And matter of fact, there's a new author that I have signed with Main House Press Publications. He and I chop it up on Facebook, right? I met him through a guy on Facebook. He and I just chopping it up. You know, and I was like, let me pull you in a couple of these groups that we're in. You know, it's about blogging, it's about business, it's about finance, because he came to me first talking about finance. The first book this boy sent to me, and these are e-books that he sent in to me, but the very first book he sent to me was about the major arcana. This cat's from South Central L.A., the hood, grew up around hood folk. The first book that was drawn out of him to come to me to say, I want to publish this one, is about the major arcana and how it works with our lives. That's dealing with the tarot cards, you know, the high cards, the high priestess, all of that, if you don't know that. But that was the first book he sent to me, and I'm just sitting here like, wow. So when that light draws you like a bonfire and you feel that warmth, you feel connected to people, that's what Diyah and I try to get everybody who listens to understand, whether if we're on the Gumbo Cafe, whether if she's on WTLC during the new moon, or if we're on the full moon show. That's what we're really trying to get people to see, is that things are different on this side. You're able to attract things that you want in your life, that you need in your life. You're able to disconnect from the negativity. And when there's turbulent people, you don't want to go back to that turbulence, because that turbulence really isn't fun. You know, that turbulence is like, oh, gosh, here we go. So I got to play this game with this person in order to make them feel comfortable. No, we're getting out of that. We're headed now into the Bronze Age, heading out of the Iron Age. And I know we have to deal with the turbulence, but I don't like it. If I don't need to deal with it, I don't really want to deal with it. I will stop talking to people just so I can be like, okay, let me ground myself again. Let me get situated. And then this heifer, and I know I'm just rambling, but I guess it needs to be told. This heifer here did his first book. I want to get this book out. What did she do? Colors and stones, stones and colors. Every crystal rock shop in San Diego we frequented in never had any books that said colors and stones, stones and colors, magical numbers, all of this. To see us get back to our roots, to get back to the truth, to get back to reality is an amazing and unbelievable thing, and you just sit back in awe and you're thankful for it because you're beginning to see that a lot of people are tired of the church, and it's not to knock the church, it's the doctrine that they're tired of. It's the doctrine that their spirit is saying, I cannot deal with this because this is a lie. Something in this is not right. You have so many atheists out here that are saying something is not right, and they're really not fighting the church. They're fighting the doctrine. Those people are more into the Bible. I've never met an atheist who was not into the Bible. They study that Bible backwards and forwards. They feel that there's more out here in the world than what they've been told ever since they were a little child, that you got to go to church on Sunday, you got to go on a watch meeting on Monday, then you got to go to another one on Wednesday, and then you can't dress like this because of so-and-so, and you can't wear earrings in the choir stand, and you got to wear these long skirts, or, you know, your hair has to be pulled back. If you're sitting in the front row, you got no jewelry, all of this. What does that have to do with salvation? What does that have to do with the light shining? Does the light bulb say, oh, no, don't put that gold piece on me? No, it just says turn me on. What does Spirit say when Spirit says a lot to a whole bunch of people, but it says allow me to move? Why are you laughing?
Because the way you said Spirit says a whole lot to a bunch of people. It just took away when you said that because it's so true.
It does. It really does. And that's the other thing. While I'm sitting here talking, and then we go, but I guess it's been 2 weeks, we catch it up. That's the other thing, is sometimes people will say, and God told me, and so-and-so, well, okay, maybe that was just meant for you. And God told me to tell you that you shouldn't be, okay, but how come God is only talking to you and he can't talk to me? But I thought I was made in his image, so how come I can't hear what he's saying? Oh, because you got to pay your tithes. Wait, what? Huh? Okay, so I'm going to pay my tithes then. Oh, so I just got to keep paying my tithes and keep paying my tithes and keep paying my tithes so I can get to heaven? Okay, now we sounded like the Egyptians because, remember, they had that little doll that they had to pay to the priest in order to get to the salvation that they had. That's when their religion began to fall. They kicked out matriarchy. They put these little dolls up in there as payment and said you got to make these payments to the temples so that you can receive your salvation. What is it Big Mama says? Everything happens under the sun. Ain't nothing changed except for the names and the faces. But we're coming out of that. So I'm thankful that we're coming out of that. And you don't always have to, and I'm just going to leave it at that, and then I'm going to ask you what you did over the weekend, and I know you got some stuff to say, too. You don't always have to ask everybody for advice. The advice and the answer is in the question that you ask. The advice and the answer is in you. All you got to do is cut out the noise and listen to it. It's right there. Most times when you ask the question, the answer is right there. That's what we learned in college. That's what we learned in elementary school and in high school. That's how a lot of these kids were passing these tests, And they were like, how are all these students passing this test? This is supposed to be difficult. Why are they passing this TOEFL test and these SATs? Because they understood the answer was in the question. Should I go with him? Should I date him? Actually, what we say is, should I not date him? What you think? What's in that question? You should not date him. It's right there. Whenever you have a question that seems to be so parallel and it seems so difficult, just shut off all the noise, shut off the TV, get in your quiet place. They call it meditation. Write it down if you have to. Write the question down and meditate and listen. Look at the question. The answer is right there. You are right there. Why? Because I am God. You are God. I am that I am, and that's all that I am. And I can't stand no more. How about that, Popeye? Now, where's my spinach? You know that cartoon, Diyah? And I'm standing going. I mean, I know you know the cartoon, but that cartoon with just that little phrase, that's how Hollywood gets you. That's how the artists are the ones that are most in tune with anything spiritual, along with Pisces, of course, and Scorpios. But artists and musicians, they put what you need to know, too, in the cartoons. They gave it to us like we were talking about last week. Avatar, The Last Airbender. Mm-hmm. They're talking about chakras. They're talking about how you get to the top level, Nirvana.
They talk about all the elements. They talk about a lot in the Avatar, The Last Airbender series, in those 4 books. They talk about a whole lot.
Mhm.
Pay attention. Just pay attention to some of the things that they do. It shows you a whole lot.
Right. Sure does. If you see a vibrant blue color, what does that tell you? If it's a vibrant blue color, where is that? And not even looking at the tree of life, but in chakras, where are the vibrant blue colors? Where it looks like it's indigo. That should tell you where you are. Sky blue, where is that? Is that the throat? Maybe? Maybe you're talking too much. So I'm talking too much. Diyah, what you do over the weekend, girl?
Over the weekend, what did we do this weekend? We just, we had a good old time. We spent more time doing stuff at night mostly, and we did laser tag, but more so how you play tag or freeze tag. But we did it in the dark with the glow in the dark necklaces and the glow in the dark bracelets, and we put the necklaces around underneath their shoulders so they glow in the dark, and then they had on their ankles, and then they had one around their waist. And then we had ours, and then the next night, we didn't play too much next night, but we watched them play, and that was so funny. They had the glow-in-the-dark swords and glow-in-the-dark axes, and they were pirates, and they was running around here having sword fights, and it was just a good old time on a cheap budget. We also went and had dinner. We spent the day in the park, and then we had dinner in the park. And then we came home, and we surprised them. They didn't know that we had the glow-in-the-dark fight 2 nights in a row, so we surprised them with the other stuff, because, now they got Halloween stuff, and now, everything's trying to glow in the dark. The kids running down the street. And when we saw them, we just had to get it. We had to get it. And we got it, and their eyes just lit up. They had a ball. They love anything that glows in the dark. What did you do? That was our weekend. What did you do over the weekend? Huh.
I was just talking. What that is, though, is that's good because, and like I say, every time I ask you, I love hearing your stories with what you do with your family because, everybody's always talking, I ain't got no money. We can't go to Disneyland. We can't do this. Create Disneyland in your house.
Yes.
Laser tag. You were talking about, whatever happened to kids playing with forts? Remember we used to get the blankets off the bed and put 2 chairs up?
Oh, yes, we still do that. Get the mop room and get the chair and you get the cushions from the couch. Oh, yeah, we still do that. So,
okay. See,
when it get a little cold, we did last year and we'll build a fort on the balcony and spend the night on the balcony.
that could be camping. I don't live near mountains. You got a balcony. You can see if it's enclosed.
You got a living room with a window.
Hey.
You can let open, let it, well, if you're not on the first floor, you can let the window open, let it some crisp air, and camp out.
Or if you have a screen. But you don't want to live in some of the places, like some of the apartments, they got a patio without any cover on it. If you have your screen open, especially in Cali, baby, you better lock everything up because somebody's going to be in that house sitting there on the floor with you talking about where your money. So, so yeah, if you have an enclosed patio or a porch or something like that, yeah, that's like one of the things to do. I wish we had an closed screened up porch, because I would be sleeping out on this mug in a hammock. Big Mama said that's what they used to do every summer. You know, they didn't have screens on their porch, but they just went on the porch and slept on the porch with their pallet. And that was summer, and that was fun.
Mhm. And you was in a nice, cool air, especially after a good bath. Whew.
Girl. Or taking baths and showers outside in the rain. Baby.
Ooh,
Speaking of that, watch the segue, and I know he ain't going to press one, but we were on last night with Eric Teamer with Common Sense Conversations. He's here tonight with us listening in. He hasn't pressed one, but that's okay. He's still giving us support. We do appreciate that very much, sir. Thank you for that. Again, the number is... Oh, yeah, just open up his mic.
Just bait him on a couple of topics. You know, some topics he ain't going to sit still on. You know, talk about how great certain systems are. Right. And the number is 347-202-0388 if you guys want to call in and press the number 1. Yeah, if you get something that's a heated topic, if it's about African-American culture and politics, baby, he might press that 1. He might just do it. Especially if we say something off the wall that doesn't even relate, he might correct us. Anyway, he probably inboxing one of us, you or me right now. But what did I do over the weekend? Huh? I'm about to inbox the problem. He's actually not inboxing. I'm about to inbox him. That's the problem. He's too quiet.
Mm-hmm. He heard his name. What did I do over the weekend, Diyah? I did editing. That's what I did. I did editing, working on a couple of websites. You know, an entrepreneur never sleeps. An entrepreneur is always thinking, and an entrepreneur is always working. So I was working, which is possibly why I'm tired. Except for one day I just vegged. I was like, you know what? I can't even hang. That's how it was. In the middle of the sentence. Girl, in the middle of the sentence. One time I was on the phone with her, she fell asleep.
I woke up with the letter X on the side of my face. It's still missing from
right.
my laptop. I can't put it back on the laptop.
She don't know where it is. The key is gone.
It's gone. I don't. I don't know. We have a mark from the mouse on the keyboard. We have a mark from the mouse on my head. Like I swear, I got an infrared dot. Infrared purpley going through my song.
Girl, a mess. I don't want to get
creating now. That's the joys of creating life the way that you want. The late nights that you stay up, the late night phone calls you have with other people who are like, all right, we got to stay up. One snoring, you're like, hey, wake up. You hang up on them, call them back to wake them back up, and that's just the joys of starting to create and doing things the way you want to. I don't like to use the word sacrifice. I prefer the word offering because to me, my time, my sleep is my offering to my reality. That is my offering. It's not a sacrifice. It doesn't hurt me. It's not something someone's asking of me. It's something that I am offering, something that I am capable and able to do on my own so that my reality can come to me now, so that my future and my present can link up now. Basically.
That's really what tithing is. You tithe into yourself. Girl. Yeah, okay. I ain't going to say nothing. I'm going to shut up. I'm going to leave the Bible out tonight. I'm going to leave the Bible out, except for Titus 2:4. And that's really what we're doing tonight, teaching these young women. And I even asked somebody to come in tonight and share their recipe. I don't know if that's going to happen, but
I don't mean to cut you off, but I have a bone to pick with that, because this is not the first time we did something about food and had a bunch of women say, oh, yeah, we want to do that, whether it be a game, whether it be a group, whether it be a page. We all in it. We cooking this and that. And then when we like, all right, well, let's really go ahead and do this, it's just me and Shani.
It's just me and you posting that stuff.
And,
no.
Not saying that it's a problem, but when you
it's
look
just
at
sad.
things, I'm a creative person. I can do things with my hands, And, from cleaning and from doing other things, I realized that I really do have all power, or like Shani said, like the Bible says, that I am God. I have all power over my life. And, the hear them complain about their life here, complain about certain things, and say they don't want things a certain way, and then you ask them, well, who's cooking your food? Who's cleaning your home? Who's putting energy into you and into the things you want to do? Everybody else but you. Then you wonder why your life is out of control. That's one of the things that aggravates when I hear certain things. And for those of you who don't realize it, when you start talking to a person, you can tell by their surroundings, their actions, what they listen to, what they like to do, what they do or don't like, exactly where they really are spiritually, and you can see why. You can already see their complaints. Most people don't say their complaints when they first meet you, but when you talk to them, you can already tell what their complaints are going to be just by listening to them. Just by listening. Oh, do you cook? No, I don't cook. Now, some people do have their own cooks. Well, do you schedule the meals and tell you what to cook? Oh, no, I don't do that. I'll let the cook cook what they want to cook. Oh, okay. The next thing you know, their life is out of control. No one listens to them, but the children love the nanny. The children love the chef.
What is that? We had a president, President Bush. He loved his nanny so much. He loved black women. Y'all don't know a lot about that, but he does love black women, and there's a reason why. He had a nanny that took care of him the majority of his life as he was growing up. And it was the same thing with my grandmother's grandmother. She was the same age as these little girls. They were like 14, and my great-grandmother was 14 too. But she was their nanny, and they loved having her around. They always want to keep you around because, I can confide in you. It's just something about you. You really do listen. Isn't that supposed to be the mama's role? Yeah. But we're too busy. Girl, we're too busy, and excuse that, I'm rolling up the window. We're too busy dissing other women as far as, why are you always in that kitchen cooking? Why are you always doing this? Girl, I ain't got time to cook. Shoot, I don't even know how to boil water. I don't even know how to do. Why don't you? What's wrong with cooking? Why are you spending money every week on somebody who's touching your food and you don't know what they're thinking about, but you come home angry after you done ate that hamburger? Why are you so angry? One book I will say to read is like Water for Chocolate. You guys will get where we're going here.
Yes.
And if you haven't read it and if you're into subtitles, watch the movie, like Water for Chocolate. Because everything that young lady thought about was in that meal. If she was horny, it showed in the food. And everybody at that table, when they sat down to eat, and everybody, of course, ate together, they were all feeling some type of way. If she was angry, everybody at that table was angry. And, when you watch Soul Food, matter of fact, what was it? They always had issues.
And they always had issues in the kitchen cooking.
They were the ones really doing the majority of the cooking.
They were over there. They was in the energy in the kitchen. And, yeah, they was. They wasn't doing the majority of it, but they had their hands in the food, and then everybody started eating, and next thing you know, they're arguing again.
And their relationships didn't come out right. We don't pay attention to that, but that's a lot of it is because what our thoughts are when we are in the kitchen cooking. But that's what we're going to be talking about tonight is cooking. The importance of it. Why is it as women we do need to understand why to cook, how to cook, We're going to share a couple of recipes for you, and then I'm also going to do a little plug. I don't plug much about my books, but if you pick up my book, Destined, of course, it's a Christian novel. It's a Christian romance, Christian fiction romance. Pick it up. I have several recipes in there that you guys could use, because I've used them many a time. So the book is called Destined, of course, by me, available on Amazon, also on several other sites. And then we also have a caller before we go to break. Let's bring this caller in, because I don't know who this is.
Oh, all right.
I know.
Hi, this is Dr. Feelgood.
Hello, Dr. Feelgood. How you doing?
Hey, this is Odetta Brown. How you doing?
I know who it was, girl.
How you doing? Well, y'all was talking about, I'm fine. Y'all was talking about all this good old cooking, and I lost my drive.
How you lose your drive? See, that's what we talking about, people.
I tell you, when people start acting funny and you start feeling unappreciated and everything go out the window, you know how it is. Well, you might not know how it is, but yeah. I lost my drive. I'm going to be honest. Not that I don't know how to cook, because I do, but I just don't have no ambition anymore.
You don't have any ambition to cook. I mean, is it just you, Mrs. Well, for those who don't know, she is a faithful follower of Gigi. Are you in the spot chat? You're in the spot chat, aren't you?
Not in the spot chat no more. Thank you, Jesus, for that. But
tell the listeners a little about you.
Oh, oh Lord, it's gonna take all day. Go ahead and go to break.
Okay. What were you about to say? You don't have
what I was going to say is that I've been a single parent. My daughter is now 18. I am currently legally separated. And I always knew, I was one of the moms that cleaned up everything, cooked almost every day because, I don't like leftovers. But, when my daughter got 18, I always said a lot of things were going to change. And not that I don't appreciate eating nutritional, meals. It's just after that, I just got tired. My daughter got 18, I got tired. And that's one of the things that changed is that cooking.
Really? Was she in the kitchen with you when you were cooking?
Yeah, she was my taste tester. She wasn't doing nothing. She wasn't washing no dishes. She wasn't doing nothing. She was a faithful taste. Oh, yeah, she can put it down now. That's who cooked the dinner around this joint.
Okay. Well, see, I commend you for that, sis. Go ahead.
I got to get that cooking back because my pockets are really beginning to be, a little limited. Because I like, when I eat out, I like to eat all the good stuff, all 5-star. I don't eat Red Lobster. I mean, I will eat it if I had to treat myself. But if a man had to treat me and take me, I ain't eating no Red Lobster. I'm eating all 5-star.
Look at her. Okay, y'all gonna get a kick out of Mrs. O.
I could do me. I could pay for my own chicken box. I ain't gonna let no man do me like that, baby. I can't do that.
I mean, look at this head.
Her new name is Madam O.
Huh?
Her new name is Madame O. That's her name, Madame O. Madam O.
Madam O.
Yes. I mean, something wrong with I'm just saying. Don't make fun of me, ladies. Help me. What's going on?
I was good.
Wait a minute. Girl.
Come on, dear, because you owe me a free tarot card reading, Miss Cleo. Come on. What you got to say?
Wait. I said double the price of food stamps. I did not say free. I said 50% interest.
Girl, bye. I know you need that tax write-off. Stop playing.
I can't pay that write-off. That's not a tax write-off.
It is. That's community service. What you talking about?
See.
Girl, you gonna stop playing. Well, do y'all take Obamacare?
Hell no.
Have fun.
Y'all don't want a food stamp. Y'all don't want SNAP card. Y'all don't want Medicaid. Y'all don't want Obamacare.
I said I'll take food stamps. It's just, we do food stamp rules, 50% increase.
I swear. I'm just trying to get over.
If it's $25, you know you got to give her 50 out that book. Come on.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm the working for. Whatever happened to community service?
We ain't on probation. We ain't on probation.
Lord Jesus.
You done rebuked us several times, so no, we ain't on probation. You got to pay. What was it I said a minute ago before you called in? Where's your dog?
Lord help me, Jesus.
You know
I see what's happening.
I could do damage at the produce place with $50 worth of food stamps. I can get enough for like 2 weeks. Yes, I can.
Lord help. So I got to pay $25 and buy y'all $50 worth of food stamps just to get a tarot card read. I'm calling Miss Cleo. I ain't got time for this. She ain't gonna do me like that.
She in New York chilling at the park right now. I saw that article. Did you guys see that article? Anyway, we're gonna go to break real quick. Miss O, you gonna kick it with us for a minute? Or excuse me, Madam O.
We gonna kick it. Yeah, I'm gonna kick it. I'm gonna see if I can get my reading. Definitely. I'm gonna see what I have to do. Now. I got a few tricks left in me.
Yeah, we're not doing those tricks, boo. We done all at the pole. So, again, the number is 347-202-0388. Diyah, go ahead and take us to the second half of the show real quick, boo.
I'm breathing you like my air now. Got me floating like I'm out of space. And I can't lose with you here now. There's no one that can dare take your place. 'Cause you're worth every argument, every battle through. baby, and I'm your lady.
Turn the lights on.
I'm breathing you like my air now. Got me floating like I'm out of space. Yeah, yeah. And I can't lose with you here now. There's no one that could dare take your place. Yeah. 'Cause you're worth every argument, every battle, bruise and scar. Baby, you are so far from perfect, but you've been perfect so far. Baby, you are so far from perfect, but you've been perfect so far.
Welcome to the Gumbo Cafe with your hosts, Shani and Diyah.
Little funky 70s music we got. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Gumbo Cafe, 347-202-0388. You are kicking it here with Dee and myself, and we're going to talk about, not really gumbo, but we're going to talk about some food.
Mm-hmm.
We got Mrs. Madame O. Hey, Madame. How you doing, darling?
Now, how you doing?
I'm doing wonderful, darling.
All
I know
right.
you're a little bougie, I don't like the rest of us. So, you know, you were talking about 5-star restaurants and stuff.
Yes.
Okay. But when you're dating, you know, because you said you're separate, but when you're dating now, do you expect guys to buy meals for you or do you cook?
I mean, it go both ways. I don't mind paying either. It depends on, what kind of brother it is. I don't mind spending money, but baby, he got to, be good to me. But I will cook. I'm just saying to get in there every day and to prepare a meal for my family. It's just the things that I go through the day. And like what I experienced by doing it every day, cooking and cleaning solely, all by myself now. Nobody has chores but me to work, to go to school, and come home and do all this, superwoman. And I really, honest to God, I lost interest. I did. And I really want to get it back because I know, that's a part of me being healthy.
And I like that you're being honest about that, too, because there's a lot of women who are married or dating or living with someone, and they get tired after a while because they're spending a lot of time outside of the house, and they don't have any additional help. And Dia's another one. Dia's got 3 toddlers. It's going to be crazy when I can't say toddlers anymore. But she has 3 toddlers. Do you get tired after a while?
Technically, you can't say toddlers anymore because my youngest is now 5.
I know. That's all like. I know.
Shiny still sees them as their babies. But do I get tired? Hell yeah, I get tired. But, at that point, you just got to keep going. I mean, and the reason, for me, I say I got to keep going because these are the things that I agreed to, and I'm not going to go back on my agreement. I agreed to home-cooked meals because, one, I like knowing what's going into my children's bellies. I like them having the experience that I had with my great-grandmothers and other elders that were around me, watching them cook and helping them cook and eating the food after they cook. I remember the family reunions, the family reunions, the family parties at my family, they were always backwards. The food was never done when you got there. So I remember being in the kitchen watching them cook and them talking, whether it be trash or good conversation, listening, talking, and have a good time while they was cooking. So I want my family to experience that. I want to have that. And then everything else, me, I'm not saying that my husband is rich or that he makes a whole lot of money. Not yet. It's coming. But, I have the option whether to work for him or not. So I'm choosing to, I have the option of working out. So I'm choosing, and it's also a blessing, so I'm choosing to work and do what I love. So that's something extra that I took on to myself we both agreed to homeschooling way back when we was in marital counseling. We both agreed that we didn't want our children in the school system. We was going to homeschool. I won't say all the things surrounding it, but we said that if we had children, that was something we both would do. So that's something that we both took on. And so when I get tired, I take a little 5 minutes, sit down and rest, drink some coffee, keep it moving. And, one thing I did learn, though, is to get my children on and honestly, I have to thank Shani for this. Shani doesn't really know it, but with doing the Gumbo Cafe at the time, I had to put my children on a better bed schedule. So I was able to do this show. And doing that, they actually gave me a few extra hours to myself to get other things done or to schedule my life so it wasn't so crazy. So I do thank her for that, even though she didn't know that how she affected me in that way. And she also sends a lot of homeschooling stuff. Most people don't know. Shani is a big supporter of me homeschooling, and she sends a lot of stuff for the boys. And she always has. And when I told her I wanted to homeschool, she was the one up late at night, when everybody else was like, no. And at the time, my husband worked at night, so he couldn't, be up at night researching stuff with me. But during his break, he was researching on the internet on his phone. Shani would be up with me, like since 4, 5, 6 o'clock in the morning, researching different types of schooling, this is that. So, Shani, I always give you big credit for that. I love you, girl. But when I get tired, there's no such thing as, to me, there's no such thing as tired. If it has to get done, it got to get done. And it could have the fact that, it could have something to do with the fact that I'm a little OCD. But if it has to get done, it has to get done. So, for me, when it's tired, you take a 5-minute break, you drink some coffee, you keep it moving. That's just how it is. I'll sleep when I'm dead.
You know what I've noticed, though, and I'm going to ask you this first, Mrs. O. Excuse me. When you cook, do you find yourself cooking the same food all the time?
Oh, I hate that. I wish I do. Like on Sundays, you know how you traditionally cook that good old country southern meal? I find myself really, at this stage of the game, baby, I'm trying to learn something different. I want to switch it up. Go, I can do Southern and Italian very easy because, that's something that our family has been doing for years. But I'm ready to switch it up. It's time to do something different. It's really time to do something different. Because I'm tired of eating. It's not that I'm continuously eating the same things. It's that, I'm just kind of like traditional with it, like with the greens and the cabbage and this and that. Like my daughter, she cooks very different from me, although, both of our family cook those good old Southern country cuisines. And I pick at her, but really my daughter eats a somewhat Mediterranean diet. Like she made when she grilled chicken, she'll make a nice little spinach salad and like with some brown rice. And I was looking at her like, girl, what's this? What the hell is this? And she done made, and it's proportion, and she's doing it right. I like what she's doing. I wouldn't eat like that every day, but I like how she do what she do. But I'm tired of tradition. It's time to do something else.
And you know what? That was what I noticed with a lot of women. We get tired of doing the same thing because it feels like we're stumping our growth, and we know that we can be creative. But there's only so many ways you can do some greens. You're gonna put a ham hock in it, or you're gonna put a turkey wing in it, or you're gonna just put some bacon in it, or you're just gonna boil it with some onions. Right. It's so many. It's only so many ways you can make cornbread. You just get the regular mix, cup of this, cup of that, some baking powder. Then you might want to fancy it up a little bit and put some of that Mexican or Spanish corn in there. Hell yay! I did something different. Wow, it's still grains of corn. Cornbread, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So that's what a lot of the problem is when it comes to us as women. We get stuck and we feel stagnant, and it gets boring. Food is not supposed to be boring, but I think, and I grew up with my grandmother. I'm here with my grandmother. It's all the time. I want some fried fish. I want some greens. I want some cabbage. I want some black-eyed peas. I want, or some neck bones or some. It's basic. You know what I'm saying? And it's basic. And when you come from a place where you've been exposed to different kinds of cuisine and you know how to portion, it's like you're afraid to serve it to her because, that's different than her norm, but you want to have your norm too. So you kind of have to figure out how you put that balance in there with the lifestyle that you have and the family members that you have. Diyah, I know that you experiment a lot with food, and she was at one time a vegan, and I ain't gonna mention I was, but
I'm trying to go vegan.
It's a journey. It's a journey. It's a complete lifestyle. I will tell you that.
Yeah, I'm trying. And the thing is that, and that's another reason too why I fell out of it, because like I'm noticing as I get older, my body, like I can't eat the things that I used to eat, especially meat, especially beef, and like pork. I can't do it because my body doesn't break it down properly. I get like infections in my stomach. So for me to sit there and cook that and to look at it and to smell it, it actually makes me sick.
You have to know what I don't know how the transition is for you, and if Diyah, real quick, if anybody does want to talk, just go ahead and pull them through. I see we also have another caller in here as well. So for those who are in there, if you want to talk, press the number 1. But yeah, we tend to eat heavy food, especially as women of color. And I don't know what that is or whose mic that is, but we tend to eat heavy food. And when we try to transition to going vegan, our taste buds haven't gotten used to that new meal that's in front of us, and it's hard for us to shift or transition to that. And Diyah, you can explain it a little more. See, I grew up vegan, and that inner vegan in me, baby, sometimes I will crave a avocado sandwich. This is like the craziest thing ever. But I'll crave an avocado mushroom sandwich, actually avocado sandwich with sauteed mushrooms and onions. I give Diyah hell all the time about her when she was vegan. But my inner vegan still misses. I know I do. But I still miss those flavors and I miss those tastes. Once you get on the vegan side, you're gonna crave it. But go ahead, Diyah. I'm sorry.
First thing, one of the main reasons why I went vegan is because we both wanted a more healthy lifestyle, and I was when did I go? I was just about to have I just had our second child, and I wanted we both wanted a more healthier lifestyle. We both wanted want to change. We didn't feel as much energy as we thought we should be feeling, and all those other things. And we actually thought we ate pretty healthy until we went vegan and realized how unhealthy we actually was eating. And I say that because I've never been a big meat eater. I could do chicken, I could do turkey, I could do bacon once in a while. But as far as like ribs and burgers and other stuff, I was always wanting to get the fish meal at the fast food stuff and things like that. Or like chicken sandwich. I was never a big meat eater, and then I always went for my salads, and I always had my smoothies and stuff like that. So I thought I was a very healthy eater until we went vegan. And then when we first went vegan, we didn't do healthy vegan. We just went vegan first because my husband was a heavy meat eater. So I wanted to make sure that that he was comfortable, transitioning into vegan. And I will say, if you're transitioning into vegan, before you just jump on the healthy stuff, you have to train your taste buds. So I will say, while you do have to watch your carbs and watch your gluten and tofu intake, especially for men, tofu is not good for men at all. It's very high estrogen. I will say you need to take that time to transition into healthier foods. Don't just shock your system because you're going to reject it. You're not going to like it. And with all things, when you're switching, if you do a very fast switch, your body's going to feel sick, and you may misinterpret that as your body's rejecting it, when it actually is your body detoxifying too quickly, for you to be able to interpret it, so it comes out as you being sick. The fevers, the chills, the feel like you're about to just come over and die. Then there's a thing where when you're used to eating a bunch of meat and stuff like that, or a bunch of, in our case, a bunch of carbs, you're used to that heavy feeling on your stomach. So when you go towards vegan, unless you're eating, again, a lot of carbs, in which a lot of vegans do still eat a lot of carbs, and you have to watch out for that. Your stomach feels lighter, and unless you're doing your studies to realize that your stomach should not have that heavy feeling after a meal, you don't realize it, and then and most people misinterpret their stomach shrinking back to normal size. Most of our stomachs, whether you're skinny or fat, most of our stomachs are not normal size. So your stomach shrinking back to normal size. We misinterpret that as we are hungry, and that's not what it is. It's the stomach shrinking back to normal size, and we think we're hungry. So, being vegan was a beautiful experience, but it also was a trying experience. And for those who want to go vegan, I would say don't screw what everybody says. Start incorporating more vegan meals, and don't just go straight heavy vegan. Just start switching up. Go from regular butter to vegan butter. I guarantee you, Earth Balance needs to pay me. Because I guarantee you, if you switch from regular butter to Earth Balance butter, you will not know the difference. I put my life on that one.
What's the name? What's the name of this butter that you're talking about that's vegan?
Earth Balance.
Earth Balance.
So you can get it. I know. I heard of Smart Balance. So you can get it at any grocery store.
No. Smart Balance, I believe, is vegan too, but it don't taste the same. Earth Balance is fully vegan, and it tastes just like regular butter.
Well, can you get it? We have Whole Foods here and Harris Teeter's, and our local grocery has a mean organic. Is plenty organic in this store. We have a lot of nice groceries in our area. But we have those are directly, organic, and then these upper scale, stores have a really nice organic selection in it. But I've never seen Earth Balance before.
It's probably attention. Earth Balance, it used to come in a tub, in a small, little tub, like how I Can't Believe It's Not Butter comes in a tub. It used to come in a tub like that. Lately, they have been making the sticks, so it comes in little cardboard boxes like that. And normally you don't see it. You normally don't see it in the low end stores, but from middle to high end, or just a little bit above low end to high end, you'll see it there. In Whole Foods definitely carry it. They have the organic, which personally I'm not a fan of organic, but I'll get into that in a little bit. But they have organic and they have soy free. So for those who are trying to cut down their soy, again, especially for men, because soy is not good for you, they do have a soy-free one, and it's totally vegan. The next thing I would suggest is switching over to vegan cheeses. The best vegan cheese that I have tasted outside of making your own, because I have it my own, is Diyah, Daiya. I think that's how you spell it. I haven't had it in a while, but I believe it's D as in David, A as in Apple, Iya, Diyah cheeses. That's the next best cheese to vegan cheese.
But what is that made of?
It's made of vegetable glycerin. It may have soy in it. It has a little bit of gluten in it. It has a lot of different vegetables. It has nutritional yeast flakes. It has agar root, which agar is actually comes from I believe seaweed, and it helps to solidify the cheese so that they can chop it up and shred it like actual cheese, and it makes it melt like real cheese. It's still those different cheese tastes. That's the next big thing as far as vegan cheeses. Other than that, the other vegan cheeses, I use other vegan cheeses, but I don't really care for them. My favorite was Diyah. Diyah cheeses was the best, other than making your own cheese, which you could tweak to your own taste buds.
Yeah, I'm moving away from cheese. I learned that, cheese is not really anybody's friend. It's not really good. A lot of these dairy things are not good. As what people used to always say that it's good as far as its vitamin D, but I've learned that that's an absolute lie.
That's because they're using a lot of artificial flavoring and coloring, and the stuff that we see in the regular grocery stores, in the low-end grocery stores, everything there is made for shelf life. So you pick up those packages, and that's one thing I hate, when you want to gain a healthier lifestyle, because I don't use the term diet. So when you want to gain a healthier lifestyle, first thing they tell you, you got to read the labels. I don't want to read the labels, but the first three things that are on the labels are the things that you need to pay attention to. If it has high fructose syrup, you don't want it. If it has artificial flavor 4 or artificial flavor C or D, whatever it is, you don't want it.
What is artificial flavor 4?
I just made that up, girl. Don't mind me.
Another thing, though, a lot of people should pay attention to is like that sugar intake. A lot of stuff, and that's with that fructose corn syrup. Because that sugar and fat is the number 2 issues that lead to heart disease.
It's not like the sugar that we see in the packages. You know, it's more of the starches that we tend to eat, especially as African American people. We love bread. You take bread away from us, we gonna hurt somebody.
Girl. That's my number 1 problem. I could be without meat, but bread, oh God.
Yeah.
That's my number 1 problem. I just can't.
And the other thing is,
I have a love for fresh bread.
Fresh bread and pastas. We have a hard time letting go of pastas. And potatoes. Starchy foods. We love. Go ahead, dear.
Now, I was saying the thing is, excuse me, all starches is not bad starches, but we consider the fact that you're eating a toast, and then you're eating a baked potato, and then you may have orange juice. And we'll take a full glass of orange juice, but really that full glass of orange juice may equal up to 10 oranges. That's nothing other sugar, natural sugar, but it's still all sugar to the body. So when you start looking at how much sugar you're putting into your body on a daily basis, there's the sugar in the cheese, there's the natural sugar in bread, then there's the sugar in the sugar they put in the bread, then it's
and sugar in the orange juice, sugar in the milk.
There's sugar in milk?
Yes, boo.
There's sugar in
God.
There's sugar in. There's sugar in milk. And, when you realize your body takes the sugar out, your body can break certain carbohydrates down into sugars so that the body can work with it. And keep in mind, I'm simplifying this because I do not want to have a whole science class. I don't want Eric coming on the show talking about science in the body and stuff like that.
Oh, so God.
But the body breaks it down into sugar. So when you think about the body breaking down bread and drawing the sugar from that, potato, drawing sugar from that. For us who love Caribbean food, from the plantains and the papayas and all these other stuff, and drawing sugars from that, from the coconut milk, just natural coconut milk without the extra sugar put in it, drawing sugar from that. And when you really look at how much sugar you're putting in your body a day, that's what causes all these issues, because the sugar actually thickens the blood. Once the blood is thickened, it starts to harden and it clogs the arteries, and then you have these little dots. And I don't want to get too deep into what cancer is because I'm not a doctor and I'm not trying to get sued and all the other stuff. But when we get into that, then you realize that this sugar, when they say watch your sugar intake, they're talking about starches and fruits and natural vegetables, because it's a combination of all that equals a high level of sugar in your body. So it's not just bad sugar, it's good sugar that you have to watch, because the body will take the sugar first out of everything you eat.
Right. And then think about it. If you have, let's just talk about a baked potato. What are you putting on there? You're putting the bacon bits, because, some folks are just too lazy. They don't want to bake the bacon and crumble it up. So you're putting bacon bits, you're putting sour cream, you're putting cheese, probably some sort of sauce on top of that. It all has the sugar in it that's going to be refined first. The potato, that's going to be a huge portion. The cheese is going to have some sugar in it. The butter is going to have some sugar in it. The sour cream is going to have some sugar in it. All of those things that we get just at, I don't know what you guys have there, if it's a Ralph or Food for Less or Albertsons. Let's say Albertsons because that's a popular name. If you have an Albertsons, the majority of the stuff you see in that store is nothing but sugar.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you go to the side that says vegetables, which is where Diyah was going to go and talk, where it says organic, don't let them fool you.
Yeah.
Because the vegetables that you see in the store are artificially, genetically modified.
Right.
So the tomatoes that we see in the store, we're thinking we're having a healthy salad. The reality is we're putting a whole lot of pesticides in our body. We just picked up a bag of, spinach because it said spinach is also good for us. But we're still putting pesticides in our body. But it's clean already. No, it's not clean. It still has pesticides in it. And then they've injected these plants to produce faster. So we're causing, those injections to be in our system. Just because you wash it doesn't mean that it's out of that vegetable or that plant. It's still in that vegetable and that plant because it took on the cell structure of what they injected that seed with. So
it seems like you can't win. It seems like you
can
win.
No, you can.
Well, I mean, in a way, you can win if you're a garden, have your own garden and you're gardening on food. You can at least cut down on the new stuff they're putting in. Or if you've been had a garden, then you can, block out all the stuff. I will say that I don't totally believe in cut out everything that's organic or everything GMO. And the reason why I say this is because the body is a beautiful thing, and the immune system is immaculate. There's nothing like our immune system. So I do believe that, eating a little bit of that stuff helps our immune system to have defense mechanisms against that for whatever may happen. Because you always, if you don't use it, you lose it. That's how I feel. So, I will incorporate just a little bit of everything in it just so my immune system can build a defense system against it, because that's what the immune system is supposed to do. Oh, this is new. Let me try this. Let me try this. Let me try this. Okay, this worked. Boom. Next time we get it, it can't touch us no more. And that's one of the secrets in vaccines. In vaccines, they inject you with the strain so your body can build an immune system. That's why you're so sick after you had taken the vaccine. And then once your body builds an immune system towards it, it doesn't affect you no more, or at least it doesn't affect you for about 10 years, because most people don't know that vaccines only last 10 years. After 10 years, that vaccine has worn off. So, but getting back, I do believe in eating a little bit like you. I don't believe in totally avoiding it, because to me that does just as much as damage as eating it all together with nothing in between. So you have to build up your immune system just like you have to build up your muscles or whatever else you're building. You have to work with it and work at it and train it. So I don't want people to think that we're just so no, don't. We're saying
no
in moderation, and only you know what is moderation for you. But as we were saying with organic food, or I'm going to say, I'm not even going to put Shani in. I'm going to say with organic food, I'm totally against organic food. One, because I was told a long time ago by Jamaicans that anything that flies and bugs won't touch is poison. So, and I've noticed that most organic foods comes individually wrapped in plastic bags, but if you notice the plastic bag, it's not vacuum sealed. So if it's not vacuum sealed and it's in a regular temperature room, why isn't it moldy? Why isn't it changing color? Why is there no difference between anything that's sitting there, what some just came today and some came yesterday? That's the issue for me. That lets you know that seed has been modified so the bugs don't want it. Therefore, it's considered organic because it's been naturally modified, that they don't need they don't need to spray pesticides on it because the pesticides are already in it. So, and I'm putting that on me. I'm not putting it on anybody else. That's me. That's my theory. That's how I feel. Not saying anybody else feels the same way. But that's the reason why I don't mess with organics too much. I'll do it once in a while just so I can build my immune system up towards it. But I don't feel that's something we should eat on a regular basis. I do want to bring Eric in because he's been talking way too much trash, and I know his little chunky butt got some recipes and stuff that he likes. I'm afraid Eric can take the
chunky butt. Oh, she said chunky butt. I don't know.
First of all,
hello, Eric.
Hi, Eric. How are you?
I'm fine.
My name is Odetta Brown, aka Sweet Sadie, and it's nice to meet you.
AKA Madam O.
AKA I need a free reading. But anyway.
So what do you got for us, Eric? Go ahead.
Yes, Eric, we heard so much about you. What do you got to say?
I didn't have anything to say up until somebody started talking about me.
Oh, gosh.
But now that we started, like I said, started off, power to the people all the time, everywhere. Started out. Don't. No.
We got two cut-ups on the phone tonight. So what is Mr. Scientist Teacher, what are you hearing so far that we're saying? And I don't know if you're in front of a fan, but it sounds like you are.
You worried about? I'm incognito. I'm hiding.
I don't know what this is. This is not the sexy hour. Speak the hell up.
I am speaking up. You can't hear me.
I can hear you now.
Yes.
What, now you can?
Oh, no. You're playing too much.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway. No, I'm listening. I agree with what you were saying. I think that a lot of people need to know what they're putting in their bodies. And even with the whole organic push now, that's still, it's a win-win for organizations and like Monsanto and all these other GMO organizations, because they're involved in the organic process as well.
I think it's a farce.
It is. They're making money off on both ends, just like they're starting to make money off, the push for the marijuana, the legalization of marijuana. There's a reason why it's becoming popular in the states. They figured out how to manipulate
tax it
to
for
the
one
point that,
and manipulate it for two.
Yeah, exactly. So, we have to be careful. We have to learn how to eat in cycles, what foods that you eat, foods that are in season, what foods not to eat, all these good things. But you're right. We want to do better, but the system isn't set up for us to do better.
No.
We don't take that right there.
No,
you don't think so? Why not?
When it comes to the reason why I don't believe that, the reason why I should say I don't place blame on the system, not saying that I don't agree with you. The reason why I don't place my blame on the system is because I'm lazy. I have a beautiful balcony where I could be growing herbs, tomatoes, this and that.
And I done got on her ass about it, too.
Well, let me.
I started growing herbs. No, shut up. Let me talk. Let me finish. I started growing
about marijuana.
Let me finish.
Okay,
Let me
go
finish.
ahead.
Let me finish, Miss School Teacher, sir. I started growing herbs and stuff, and then, because I did it as a project with the children. And after a while, the children would care more about it than I did, and because it was hot. It was like August, and going out there and watering the plants was like a rain in an hour. Who gives a damn? Just sit by the screen, like, you know what I mean. So it just killed that. But with that being said, I know if I can do it, then someone else could. The least they could do if they don't grow nothing else, they can grow their herbs. They can grow their own aloe. They can grow most of their own healing plants and things like that. That's why I don't put it on the government. Also, if we get together and we start growing our own foods and going back to supporting butchers as opposed to supporting the supermarket, then we may not be able to cut out all the stuff they've done to animals. We can cut out a lot of it. That's why I don't put it on the system, because there's so much that when it comes to food directly, there's so much that we can control ourselves.
No, we can't, dear. No, we can't.
No.
Let me say.
Hold on.
Let me say. Okay, I'm going to let you go.
Okay, let me say it real quick. Now, she's talking about her little shops. If you've ever been, the Muslims. If you ever go to a Muslim community, if you want meat that's fresh and that's done correctly, where they pray in the entire process, from the time that little lamb or whatever it is you want is born, they're praying, and they're doing it the way that it needs to be done. Now, as far as I don't put blame on the government either, because why? For one, I'm in Texas. I live on a 77-acre farm. I can put in the ground what I do want to put in the ground for us to eat. They are trying to regulate some stuff, but we could still bypass that if we really want to and if we know what the laws are. The food that we grow, we eat. We also give it to our neighbors and stuff. What Diyah is saying is you guys can have a community, especially in the cities, and it was working for a long time in Detroit, in New York, and now in Los Angeles, that young black guy who had the little corners that he was doing. You guys can have community gardens. There's no excuse for anyone. It's, okay, well, I only have a patio or I don't have an outdoors whatsoever. They got pots. They got potting soil. They have seeds. Ever go to the dollar store? You can buy a pack of seeds for 82 cents. I've done it. They work. They grow. Mm-hmm. That's not the government telling you, no, you can't buy this package of seeds. No. That's you saying,
the government is.
No.
The government
The government says, the government says it's illegal to grow it in certain states in your front lawn, and in certain states it's illegal to sell it if you don't have a license. That's what the government says. But there's ways to work around it. If you're not selling your food and if you're not getting away to a homeless, that gets away from the government. If you're growing it in your backyard as opposed to your front yard, or put an enclosed fence in your front yard, you can still do the same thing. The government does not necessarily say you can't do it. They have stipulations on it, but those stipulations, you can get around it.
Well,
Yeah,
okay.
you can get around it.
Also, that goes state to state. I want to make sure I say that's from state to state.
Yeah, because I was getting ready to give you an example because I have a cousin that farms. And they do milk, they do all kind of things. But when it comes down to this meat and this milk, like, you know, when you go to Georgia, and I love their raw milk. But the government got in and told people, you know, that they couldn't sell it, they couldn't give it to nobody, couldn't do nothing. It's a lot of stuff that they're telling they cannot do it because the animals aren't, immunized with the hormones and stuff like that. And they're saying that it's going to be like a widespread of disease. Or that's why they're trying to stop them from doing a lot of stuff. But government is something else when it comes down to that.
But see, you can still drink the milk. But hold on, because again, we know some farmers who do cow milk. You can still, and Texas is very similar to Atlanta, and I know what you're talking about. The reason why they don't want people to sell milk is because they have a monopoly there. They have a huge milk manufacturer there, so that's why they're trying to stop it. Same thing with chickens, and that's in Atlanta, in Georgia. And pecans and peaches as well. That I understand that they are doing. I'm sorry, is somebody laughing? Oh, okay.
Yeah, and the raw milk is so awesome in Georgia with my cousin. You know, it is so good.
The raw milk is good, but as long as you have it within your home, you're okay. And see, that's what we're saying. As long as they're not out there trying to sell it, going to a store or a grocer to try to sell it, then that's where it becomes an issue. But if you have it in your home,
even told them that they couldn't give it out. They're like controlling what they do, like on their farm. You know, that's what I know they still do it, but you know.
Yeah,
the government just stepped in and said you can't sell it, you can't give it, you can't do anything, you know.
But as a farmer, baby, we still give stuff away. I'm going to tell you that now. They will tell us until this property is no longer here or we're no longer here. We're still going to give stuff away because that's just how our tradition is in this family. We know if somebody's hungry, we're going to give away. If they give us a fine, okay, that's fine, cool, we'll pay it, but we're also going to go to court and give our voice in the politics and all of that. We're going to give our voice as farmers. We're going to speak to the ag building. We're going to speak to I don't know whose phone that is. The ag buildings here in Texas as well, who are here for the farmers. They only have so much that they can tell us we cannot do. They already got us with maize. They already got us with cotton. They already got us with corn. Okay, but there's a whole lot of other stuff that we could grow. I mean, you're saying with your cousin it's milk and something else, and of course, you know, the peaches and the pecans. She does
herbs, she does pecans, she does peppers, peas, she do everything. And the whole community, this is what I love, but it's so beautiful. She do a certain amount of stuff. Her neighbors do this, the other neighbors do that, and they come together and they swap.
Exactly. It's called bartering. That's what we do.
And that's why we don't get government, because we can swap.
Yeah, you can't. They can't stop bartering.
We only got about 35 minutes, less than 35 minutes before we go into overtime. And since we're in October Food Fest, we do want to get into the recipes. So I'm going to start with Madam O, Miss Odessa. Give us 2 recipes that you love that are some of your favorite recipes, so we can get that in there, whether you cook it yourself or whether it's something that you don't.
Are we talking about vegetables? What are we talking about?
Whatever you like.
It don't matter. Just whatever you like, a favorite recipe.
I love baked chicken. I bake everything anyway, so. But I love baked chicken with thyme and lemon and lemon peppers and garlic. I put garlic in everything. I'm a garlic fanatic. But I love baking. I really love baking. So it would be baked chicken, but my favorite meat is fish. But I love baked chicken.
I love fish too.
Now, do you mind sharing the recipe with us, either inbox Diyah or myself, or email it to us? Because we want to make sure that we can continue the tradition. We want to make sure people continue this tradition of knowing how to cook and what to cook.
Well, I do chicken, and I do chicken breast. more than I do any other, chicken. And all it is washing it and seasoning it up with when I use raw meat, I use minced garlic, fresh garlic instead of all the dry stuff. And I will use like that dry lemon pepper, but I prefer to use the fresh, the ground pepper and squeezing lemon on it. But and I don't shake any salt on my food. When you use different things, that naturally makes things salty. So I don't shake any salt on my food.
Right.
Like
I like that. Great added salt food. But okay, Miss Odetta, Madam, I just want to say you gave me a food orgasm when you started saying fresh fruit and lemon. Oh, I love lemon and I love garlic. Wow! You got her when you said garlic.
Yeah, because the difference is there's a difference between the dry and the wet, the real deal. And I like using like the real deal garlic. When you use that fresh garlic and that fresh lemon, it makes it moist. And when you cook with the dry stuff, and I don't care if you put water in it, sometimes it's like it's dried out. So it's better to use the fresh ingredients with raw meat than it is the dry. That's what I noticed.
What else do you, since you gave the chicken, what kind of side?
Well, let me tell you, when I got with this guy, he got us eating all the bad stuff. But back in the day when it was just me and baby girl, we'll eat meat and two vegetables. We would never eat no carbs.
Okay.
But now with him, we gotta have his carbs. And even on Sunday, we cook greens. We got to have like macaroni and cheese and cornbread. But I'm getting out of that. I'm getting right back out of that.
Okay.
I'm going back to the two sides and no carbs, but I don't want to totally cut the carbs out because your body needs a certain amount of sugar.
Just make a smaller portion, because and just make smaller portions, because what we tend to do is we cook that 9x13 tray, pan of mac and cheese. If you have if you have one of the small little oh gosh, I can't think of it, the little baking containers. Just make one portion for him.
You're talking about those corning dish, those little round corning dish.
Yeah, those little round corning dish. Exactly.
That's what I'm going to get. Exactly.
Yeah. You start doing that, and then that'll be enough portion for him, enough portion for you, and enough portion for your daughter. So you're not going back for second and thirds and fourths, or he's not going back for second and thirds and fourths.
I don't have a problem with the portion. It's just the tradition. I want to get away from that. I want to do a different kind of cuisine, maybe Asian, because I love the way they do their vegetables. They don't cook all the life out of it and what have you. I just need to do something different, very different, because I love peppers. I love mushrooms, and like how you were saying about the vegan. I'm gonna try this a little more because I'm not vegan. I can't see myself totally going vegan, but I can do without meat as long as the vegetables are good. I could be without the meat.
You could be a vegetarian. You could be a vegetarian, not a vegan. Yeah. So I mean, there is still, you researched it a little more and did have a blog. I don't know if that blog is still up, but she has some awesome recipes.
The blog is not up, but far as vegan recipes, what I'm going to try to do this month, I have one vegan. We both have a recipe up now on the Gumbo Cafe or Gumbo Cafe on YouTube, youtube.com/Gumbo Cafe. We do both have recipes. Shani has her famous gumdrop short pancake with gumdrop biscuits, which she remakes a recipe from Paula Deen, so it got butter and milk and sugar and brown sugar, all this stuff in it. So
they're called Southern Drop biscuits. It's called Southern Drop biscuits, but see, this is the thing. Okay, for one, and this is what we're talking about, is switch things up a little bit. I did it one way, where it was sweet, and then Diyah tried it another way, because she saw the recipe, and she was like, oh, I'm going to do that for breakfast for my boo. And then I was like, you know what, hold on. If I'm going to do Italian, how about I just put some Parmesan cheese in the mixture, as well as some garlic, just like how you're saying, and some parsley, whatever. Let it work with the meal that I'm making, or the entire meal that I'm making, and they came out good. So, as long as you switch it up a little bit, it's still got the same base to it. They're Southern Drop biscuits, like she said. They're on the YouTube channel. But You can add extra to it. You can take away, and it's going to be good. Go ahead. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah, and it's okay. That's fine. You know, because I don't sell the dry biscuits. You put that on you. Okay, what happened was way back we had a tag your it, and we might might start that back up. We had a tag your it group, and what it was is one person we would pick something for the month or for the week. And you would never have to make anything that would cost you more than $15. Honestly, we make sure you can make it on the budget. And if you spend $15, it fed more than 7 people. And I can attest to that because at the time I was babysitting and all the other stuff. So if you spend more than $15, it fed more than 7 people. But at the time, so Shani found the recipe on the back of a box. It was like, hey, let's try this. So she did it, and I was like, wait, I can make this for breakfast. So I added mangoes and I think peaches to it. And then Shani was like, wait, you added mangoes and peaches? Screw this, I can make this for dinner. So it happened like that as far as that recipe, and I believe that page is still up. So you can go to that page.
It is.
We have other recipes. Oh, cool, because we have other recipes. I think we did Italian and we did, I believe, Chinese. And
I did Asian. We did barbecue. She did a vegan style of barbecue, and I did Southern style of barbecue, homemade sauce and everything. So it's in there. The group is called Tag Your It. Yeah, and if you check it out.
Well, I'm gonna need you ladies. Huh? Are we done?
No, we're not done.
I'm gonna need you ladies to teach me how to get a good seafood soup. Because without the seafood, because I can't have the seafood and I can't have the Old Bay because I have allergies to it now.
Okay, wait.
I would love to get that flavor going.
Okay.
Wait, you said seafood without the seafood because you're allergic?
Right, I have allergic reaction to it now.
Are you allergic to the shellfish?
I can tell you.
The shellfish, yes.
That's what it is. Okay.
Okay, so what you need to get is you're allergic to the shellfish.
And I can't do the Old Bay.
You can make a fish stock.
You can make a fish stock, or if you want to keep it totally vegan, you can make a vegetable stock, and add seaweed to it. There's certain the seaweed wraps that they know, like the nori wraps, what they use for sushi and stuff. Buy the nori wraps, or they also have something called kelp seasoning. Kelp seasoning, though, I will say be very careful of kelp seasoning. Kelp is K as in kite, E as in elephant, L as in Larry, P as in Paul. Kelp seasoning, be very careful of that, though, because it has a lot of salt added to it. If you don't want to use that, just get the nori wraps and put that into your broth. Put it into your broth, and it will give you that same seafood flavor, and you will be able to, and it will have that same seafood taste like the one you're missing.
Thank you for that, girl.
Yeah, it's all in your stock. It's all in the stock.
It is.
Look, I can't do too much salt because it's like I got a salt sensitivity for real.
No, the stock. It's in the stock. The broth.
Buy the better salt. I will say buy the better salt. Whole Foods used to have this salt, and I forgot it's called gourmet salt, and it used to be a different types of salt. And the reason why I love this salt it used to be say it again?
Himalayan salt.
No, not just Himalayan salt. Himalayan, and then what I'm saying, the gourmet salt, it had different types of salts in it. And it was like a sample. And if you get you'll know a good salt. This salt, watery. Bad salt when you put it on your tongue. This particular sauce, it had Himalayan salt, black salt, smoked salt, Eurasian salt, which for those who don't know, Eurasian salt for my vegans, Eurasian salt, what you, don't get me, no, I'm going to spell it wrong if you try to get me to spell it, but it's Eurasian salt. If you get that, it has a little bit of sulfur in it, so whatever you put that in, it will make it taste like chicken. And then it has, it will. I used to use that when I used to make my own.
You have to really use your taste buds, and we're afraid of different types of the foundation that goes into stuff. We're so used to that packaging, like Lowry seasoning, salt, and all of that. You can create that same thing out of the fresh season, out of the fresh herbs.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Yeah. When you mix it together, it do the same thing. I promise.
Yes, and you can control your own salt. I think next week we'll probably do maybe crock pot dishes and like basics like soy sauce or stuff like that where we can make at home. Maybe not soy sauce, but it is a hard one. But like just like different seasons that we buy at the store, Thai season, stuff like that, that we buy at the store that we could do at home where we could control our own salt intake. That'd probably be good for next week.
Oh, that'd be awesome. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, try different salts. And the salt, I will not lie, unless you're buying the black salt. Black salt seems to be the cheapest at Whole Foods. But when you start getting into the different salts, you'll understand the difference. A good salt, and even though I say good salt, this does not mean that you should have a whole lot of it. But a good salt, when you put it on your tongue, it will make your mouth water. A bad salt, when you put it on your tongue, it will make your mouth dry. This is how you know which sauce you should be intaking, because anything that goes into your body should have a high water content because your body is mostly water. So anything that goes in your body should add to that water and have minerals and stuff that will go into the water with the water content is added to your body. That's how you know the difference between a good salt and a bad salt. But even with that, you do not want too much because it's still salt. Just want to put that out there. But I'm not saying don't totally lose all the salt or, lose all the salt, but for those who still like their salt taste, just change up. Put a little more money into the salt. You can still get the salt out there.
Right. And then your salt, like she's saying, and then we're going to get off the salt, but the salt, like she's saying, because it's so much with just that, it even enhances not just the flavor, but it adds another taste to it. So it's like some of the salt will naturally have a fish taste to it. And you just have to go out and experiment, taste them, see what it is. Some of them, like you said, when you add it to something else, it'll taste like that base of mesquite, or it'll taste like a base of something else. So, when you go to the store, if they have a section like those Whole Food stores, you want to ask them if you could sample some of this stuff. And I'm sure they will allow you to sample, because that's what we do at Whole Foods in the city, not out here. Yeah, so you ask them if you can sample it, and when you put it on the tip of your tongue, you become in touch with what you're tasting. That's the other thing. We don't taste, we swallow. We don't chew, we swallow. And we're losing that connection with the food that we're eating. So when you put something on the tip of your taste buds, that's the strongest part. You want to make sure, this tastes like so-and-so, or, oh, no, this tastes like that sauce from such and such. Just get in tune with what you're putting at the tip of your tongue so that you can tell what goes in the meal. And you'll be able to find the base of things, like Diyah was saying, and we'll do that next week.
Yes,
soy
and for
sauce
those
and ketchup.
For those who are trying to cut down, yes, girl, you don't cut me with the seafood. Don't cut me with that knife. You know I love my seafood. But for those who are trying to cut down on their salt and sugar intake, before you cook cold turkey, I do not suggest going cold turkey. I suggest switching from refined sugar to raw sugar. Not saying raw good for you, but raw sugar has molasses already added into it. Raw sugar does not necessarily mean it's natural sugar. It's the refined sugar with molasses already added to it, which is technically brown sugar but bigger crystals. And molasses has a lot of nutrients and stuff for that. So start with raw sugar and then go towards your sugar cane. I'm not saying stevia. I'm not saying maltodextrin. I'm not saying sweet and low for a reason, because those are not healthy for you, especially if you get stevia and that stevia has a green spring to it and you look at it and you see they had green dye in it, or stevia is white. Stevia is not, if it comes from a green leaf, it's not supposed to be white. So or clear or any of. So I'm gonna say that adding molasses to your sugar gives you that taste, and then replace the sugar with molasses, and then replace the molasses slowly with honey, raw natural honey from your local area. Do that. But I do want to bring Eric back in, because I know Eric has a couple of, he may not have recipes, because I know he's not a cook, but I know he has a couple of foods that he loves, that when somebody's house that he loves to eat, and it has to be home cooked. So, Eric, what's some of the recipes that you love to eat that's home cooked?
Peanut butter and jelly sandwich. You keep messing with
it right here.
We ain't doing it. No, we're not doing that shit. We're not doing that.
No.
Yeah.
When I do cook, and like I'll try to keep things like chicken breast and things like that. But I just talking was like when she was talking about, going to the shops and, getting halal foods from the Muslim shops, but also creating the setting for when you're cooking. And I learned this a while ago, like from my uncle a long time ago. Like he would play music and he would sing while he was cooking. And I think that, you have to set the mood for the food as far as how if you can understand what I'm saying, digesting it. When you're talking, and like you were talking about earlier about soul food in the movies, when they're talking and they're having complications and everything, water for chocolate, she was, when she was experiencing certain emotions, she would put that into her food, and that's basically what I'm getting at, is just, you have to set the tone for it. If you want to enjoy your mood, your meal, you have to set the tone for it. And that way people will also enjoy your meal. So when I do cook, I try to put on music and, have something that keeps me pumped up or keeps me in a good mood or a good frame of mind, so that when the meal is ready, you can just go ahead and prep and get your seasonings right, put everything down, your herbs and everything that you need for the meal, so that you can do it. You don't necessarily have to be a gourmet chef, but you need to go ahead and just take pride in what you're doing and set, put positive feelings, positive vibrations towards your meal. So, for me, like I said, I'm not vegetarian, I'm not vegan. I can easily say, if depending on my mood, spaghetti or whatever the case may be, something simple, but I still try to keep the mood light. I'm slowly gravitating, well, not even slowly, towards leaf-based foods. Like, I can do salad on a regular basis now, whereas when I was younger,
salad. I love salad.
I wouldn't do it when I was younger, but I do it now. And it kind of, I understand when you put foods, when you put certain foods in your system, and how it affects your body, especially living foods versus dead food. That's very important to understand what you're doing with yourself. So, like I said, I don't have any specific recipes. I just got on because Diyah and Shani talked.
No. I didn't ask you for a recipe. I asked you for the foods that you like that me and Shani may have had a recipe for, or Madam Miss Odessa may have had a recipe for.
No, she didn't rename me Odessa. It's Odetta.
It is Madam O.
Thank you.
It's Madam O. But I was just saying that, maybe you had something that you like to eat that we had a recipe for. I didn't ask you for a recipe. No, I didn't. Don't put that.
Yeah, but he gave a very important tip, because your food tastes the way you feel. That is so true. I find that it's so true. If it's nasty, that's reflective of that person in a foul mood. And I know that's true, because that's how it is with me. When I don't feel like it and I just want to put it together, it tastes like shit. But when I'm in love, you know what I'm saying, I'm happy. And that's how your plants are, too. I don't know if a lot of you guys know that. When your plants are dying and stuff, that's reflective of your energy and stuff. That's what I notice about my plant. When I'm in a foul mood, my plants start withering like the impatient plant, like they dying. And I know I just put water and stuff in it. Like, why is it doing that? But when I'm happy, this damn plant is sprouting. This is what I notice about stuff. And that's with your food, too. When you're happy, you cook better.
Yes, it's true. That is very true. And again, you guys, we have 13 minutes. We'll probably just do a little bit of OT. But the number is 347-202-0388. Press the number 1 at any time. 347-202-0388. And you got 13 minutes, actually 12 minutes to call in. But Eric is right. And sometimes, again, when we do soul food, I don't know if y'all pay attention, because I know you just said it, Miss O. When we do soul food, what we normally got on TV? Football or some drama.
Ooh.
Where you going with this?
Or drama.
Where you going with this?
Where am I going, baby? That's how the relationship is going to be nothing but either sporty, it's going to be trivial, and somebody's always going to be competing, or it's always going to be a battle.
Yeah.
So when you have football or drama, because Sunday nights we watching some sort of sports or mess. That's how the relationships end up being, because that's what the food is going to taste like, and it's more than what you put in your mouth. It's exactly what you said. It's that energy that you're feeding your soul, and you're feeding the people that are around you in that house that sit at the table, if you sit at the table. So that's what you're feeding them. That's what you sit at the table. Huh?
No, I was just saying people don't realize that when they go to sports bars and things like that, and they're sitting there and they're watching this sports game, and they're like, well, let me just get an order of hot wings. Well, the people in the kitchen are watching that same game, so that same competitive spirit is going into the wings that you're eating, and now you wonder why you're competing with your mate over stupid stuff. It could be something very simple, over him picking up his drawers when your bra is hanging on a doorknob, over him putting the cap on toothpaste when you got, toothpaste remains in the actual sink, because when women, we like to clean a little too extra for no damn reason. So we get extra.
Or you got your wig on the dresser.
Yes. Yes.
You got your wig on the dresser, and you complaining about his socks on the floor. I mean, what? What?
Mm-hmm.
Why?
So you're saying the moves are transferring from the person that cooked, however they felt, to the food and to the person that received it. They're receiving it too.
Amen. That's why the woman's place is so important in the home. If she represents spirit, because that's what we are, she kind of. If she represents spirit, that's the spirit that's going to be in the house. Period. So if she's angry, she's in there, ooh, this nigga make me mad, swinging pots around. Ooh, I can't stand them people at my job. Ooh, this, that, and the other. Dude, he coming home tired. He's tired. He's going to sit there and eat it. First thing, while he eating, dang, the people at that job, they just get on my nerves. Why did he say that? Well, baby, that's because you was in the kitchen kneading the dough or putting the spoon in that plate, stirring it around in your macaroni and cheese out the box, because you just mad as hell. And that mac and cheese is horrible. It come out horrible, and that's how he feels. And the first thing he says is what you were thinking when you cook. That job, those white people, them people get on my nerves.
Mm-hmm.
I can't stand your homegirl. You sitting there on the phone with your homegirl while you over the stove. Girl, you know what? You just need to get rid of that man. And then you hang up with her, and you calling your other homegirl, and you like, girl, you know what that trick just told me? See what happened? I can't stand her no way. Here she go again. Hold on. Were you doing that? Hey, but that's what I'm saying. That's what's going in the food. And the first thing that come out your mouth, I don't like that girl. Why you don't like her? I don't know. I just don't know what it is. I don't like her. You fed him. You fed his spirit. You fed him your thoughts.
Wait, but the opposite that most women don't realize, oh, you too good for him, girl. You better than that. You're so pretty. You're so this and that. And you put that in the food. And now your man's eating this food. And now your man's looking at her like, I never liked her before, but she look kind of cute. She is pretty. Well, those she's fitting her right. Like people don't, that energy you put in your food, so now you done fed your man the energy of another woman, because that's what you was thinking when you was cooking.
What's so important about a wood spoon? Why do we always see a wood spoon and a wood fork in our house and in the kitchen? What's that spoon representing? First of all, wood is basically the tree trunk. The tree trunk has a root that it has to be connected to. Who is the root? The person that's touching the spoon. Then you put that spoon in that pot and you stirring it around, because most times what do we use? We don't like using the plastic stuff because we always say, oh, that melts when I put it on there. But when we use that wooden spoon, oh, it has that flavor in it, that flavor. Whose flavor is it? It's you. It's not the pot stuff. It's you. It's your flavor. That's how deep it is, and that's how real it is. Like she's saying, if you're talking on the phone to your homegirl and you're like, girl, I love that rim you got in your hair, girl. You are just fly. You know it, baby. You worked it today, girl. That's in that food. And then the next thing, dang, she working them jeans. Baby, why you looking at her? I don't know. I'm sorry. I was watching the game. Next thing you know, she ain't coming over to your house anymore for any football parties because you feel in some type of way that he's eyeing your homegirl that you were talking about while you were making that meal in the kitchen. She kinda spirit.
I also want to
or that
point
spirit
out
in that house.
I want to point out, since Shani talked about the spoon, I want to talk about the fork. For most people who don't realize, a fork is a trident. And a trident is a staff of Poseidon or Neptune or one of the water deities, basically. And what it is it pierces spirit or pierces something. So when you're using, first of all, when you're using a trident, you have to realize it's three points on the staff. And for those who don't know, look up the word trident, TRIDENT, and you'll see what a trident is. And that's used to pierce something. First of all, 3 is number, spirit. And anytime you pierce spirit 3 times, you're causing an action. So when you're cooking and you're whipping, you know, and most of us, and I do it too, you know, when we're stirring something, we don't always use whisk. We use a fork because we're ghetto, and the fork just does it the way we wanted to do it. But when you're doing that, you're piercing that food, and you're putting spirit in that food. It reminds you 3 is spirituality, and then you whip it in the circle, and then normally that circle is counterclockwise. So when the circle that you're whipping is counterclockwise, most of us do it counterclockwise. What are you taking out of counterclockwise? Take something out. So what are you taking out of this food? Everything that you're saying, when you take everything that you're saying, you know, whether it be I love this man, this and that, you're taking out this food. So as you're whipping, those thoughts are coming out of this food. And then when you stop whipping, you may think about, the conversation like Shani said you had with your girlfriend. Oh, she's cute, she's too this, she'll need to be going through this. All that stuff is going back in the food as you're serving it because you're using that spoon, that spool, that circle, something that's encompassing it. And you're using that action that's going the opposite direction. It's going from now left to right as opposed to right to left. And you're putting your thoughts into it. And I know maybe going too deep for some, but I think about it, you know, as they're doing this, because this is the stuff, when we talk about spirituality, this is the things that people miss that's going into things that's messing up, that's not messing up, but that's giving them the results they don't want because they're not controlling their own thoughts. And what the hell is all this extra noise?
I don't know what that background noise, but it's if it's some noise, please mute your phone if you're talking in the background. But what Diyah's saying, if you're stirring something clockwise, you're bringing it into. If you're stirring something counterclockwise, you're taking something out of. So just keep that in mind when you're in that kitchen and you're cooking. That's what you're bringing in or taking out. And then it was something else because, we were talking about the mood that you set for the food. What was the other thing, Diyah? What are your recipes for the week? Because I know you uploaded them on our channel. That's her. Diyah?
Diyah.
Oh, can you hear me now? I'm sorry.
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Okay. The recipes that I uploaded for the week, I wanted to do at least one vegan recipe for the month, and that's my apple pear stuffing. It is a very old video that it's 2 videos in one. It's my vegan broth, and then the vegan broth that I used on my apple pear stuffing. So you also get my vegan broth one that I did when I was I can't say that I did when I was vegan. I still use now, and I use it often, except for the fact of the chocolate peppers, because chocolate peppers you can only get one time a year. But other than that, I still use that as my vegan broth, and then I'd show you how to do it and make a vegan stuffing out of that, which vegan stuffing is really easy. Just don't add the egg or don't put chicken bones and whatever you put into your broth. You can still get a nice, fluffy, delicious, buttery stuffing without it. But that's the recipe they have.
That sounds like something good that'll go with duck.
Probably. I never ate stuffing before, so I'm going to say probably. I've had duck before, but when I've ate, to me, duck has so much fat on its own. I've always ate it with like carrots or cabbage or something else that was not a starch. I've never eaten duck with a starch before.
Y'all can keep that duck. I'm good. I'm good.
Duck is delicious. Duck is delicious.
Yeah, but so the recipe for this week is a vegan apple pear stuffing. The video, like I said, is an old video where I was supposed to put pecans in it, which I never got around to doing. But you can certainly add walnuts to it or any other nut that you love. You can put into the stuffing. I've made this stuffing plenty of times. I've made this stuffing with in-laws on my mother knowing, and they ate it, and they assumed that it wasn't. They just assumed it wasn't vegan, and they totally loved the food. So that's one of the reasons why I put that one up for this week, and then I'll have another one for next week. I don't know if I'll do an old video or a new, well, not necessarily a new recipe, just a recipe I haven't done a video for yet for next week, but that's the one that is up on Gumbo Cafe on YouTube/Gumbo Cafe. That's the one now. Shani's drop biscuit that I love.
Drop. Why you can't say Southern, girl? It's Southern drop.
Southern. I was trying not to say gumdrop because you got me on gumdrop. I said Southern last time, damn it. All right, Southern drop biscuits that she got a recipe from Paula D and twisted it, made it her own. That after she did it, I took it and added a couple of extra stuff just because I'm an asshole, and took it and made a couple
I didn't
extra
mind it
stuff.
though.
Yeah, she did. I made it a breakfast and it was delicious. So Shani's videos are for that, and then we will have more videos up for next week's episode. We'll give you more recipes next week. We guarantee we'll actually give you more recipes. But this week it was good to lead you into the recipes. Yeah. This week was good to lead you into the conversation.
Right. And then next week I just go ahead and I'll give you the video for egg rolls, because egg rolls, people think that egg rolls are difficult. Those are the easiest things to make. They're so easy. So yeah, so I'll give you that video to upload on the channel, and that should be up next week as well before we do the show. And I just haven't made videos. You know me, I'm my own personal chef. I'm like Martha Stewart and what's Julia Childs.
God.
And I really don't like doing the videos when it's cooking, because it takes away from me because I love cooking. I just love it, and I'm passionate about it, and I don't want to, dang, I got to take another picture, or I got to do this, or I got to hold up the camera, or I got to do this, or this is in the way. So just bear with me. I might have a couple more on my computer. I don't know. We only got 3 more, so I might have 3 on my page. I might do a manicotti. I don't know.
I love that. Oh, God, please do that. I know how to do that, baby. I'm trying to tell you, I love manicotti.
Well, you can do a video. That's what we're here for, boo.
I'm trying to make a sex tape. I'm trying to be like Mimi Fox. I'm trying to make a sex tape. I don't want to make no food.
No. Human sushi. Our recipes do not include human sushi or human milk. We said food on a regular basis, okay?
It requires human nut butter.
Oh, no. See, I'm glad we're OT. But, yeah. We will have some more recipes in next week. If you guys want the ingredients and stuff, just go to our the Gumbo Cafe page on Facebook. I'll upload mine. And see, I pulled out the wrong card. Silly me, because I have the recipes.
Well, thank you, ladies. I was hoping y'all helped me get my passion back for the kitchen.
If anything, one of the things that I would say that I personally love doing is when my husband hasn't gotten home yet, and it's like I will say a Friday or a Saturday night, and they're already asleep because I feed my kids early. I've got them on a good schedule. They eat between 5 and 6 p.m. and they're in bed. But I know my husband at like 10, 11, or 1 a.m. he's still hungry. He comes in, and so I know when I start cooking at 11 p.m. that it's just for me and him. Or sometimes I'll admit at 8 o'clock, knowing that he ain't gonna get home from 1 p.m., I'll just start cooking dinner just for me. And I'm like, okay, what do I want? Okay, and one of the things I will say is that even though a lot of people say don't buy frozen, they say that because they want you to buy it fresh because it's more money for them. But I'm going to say buy it when it's on sale. Buy, especially your seafood. Buy seafood a Tuesday or a Wednesday, and that's when your lobster will be $4.99 a tail. Your crab legs will be $5.99 to $7.99 a pound. Your mussels may be about $3.99 to $2.99 a pound. Buy your seafood or your meats on a Tuesday and a Wednesday and go ahead and freeze them. Screw what they said, freeze them. I will say it will take some of the taste out of it, but it will not take all of the taste out of it. And then on your weekend, defrost it in cold water And as you're thinking about it, whether it's just for you, because there's been times when I made just a lobster tail and a little butter or garlic, lemon juice, and a little parsley or a little basil just for me, and it was delicious. There's been times when I made what's the last thing I made? Crab imperial, lobster thermidor. And when you're making it just for two people, for one, it's a lot cheaper and it's a lot less expensive when you're making it just for you and your man or you and your woman. And it's easier to get fresh ingredients, and you use the rest of the fresh ingredients throughout the week. Do that just for y'all too. And as you're doing it, you start thinking about it, and then you put on that sexy music. And I will say, be careful of sexy music, because breakup songs are not sexy music. So be careful of the so-called sexy music. If it's one of those songs where where they start saying like "Tank says please don't go," thumbs down that book rap. Change sex songs. Don't do it. But use songs
this is
that
what
make
I
you
will
think
say. But this is what I say, because you're talking about setting the mood and stuff, and that's what Eric was talking about as well. I take it a step further, and Diyah and I, we get excited about this too. Say, for instance, you're cooking Italian, or say, for instance, you're cooking Mediterranean. I knew you was going to get hypey, girl. Set up the entire house or the couple of rooms where you're going to eat in that culture. So, you have the bright colors if you're doing Mediterranean. You have those scents that's in the house. You're burning those oils, and you have the little drapes hanging down and all of that. That puts that passion back into your relationship. If you're doing like a coastal seafood or surf and turf, make the coastal scenery within the home, something that reminds you of waves and all of that, the California or East Coast, Miami or something like that. If you're doing Hawaiian, bring that culture into it and make it a full experience, because you'll enjoy that experience and he'll appreciate that experience even more. If you come out in a hula skirt with the little coconut shells on your boobs and you serving him point, he might not like it, but still, that's something that you want to bring into it, and have the music playing the entire day from that culture. If you're doing Italian, whatever. But you want to do that to bring that entire mood in, and it changes the environment of the house, and it changes the environment of the way you cook and the way you think. Serve your food on different plates, not just the regular plates with the little cute flowers on it. You want to serve your food not on black plates either. You want to serve your food on white or vibrant colors. So those are the things you want to think about as well.
I will say the reason why you want to serve your food on white plates, as opposed to black plates, is because black is the color of spirit, and spirit represents everything. When it comes to spirit, you can manifest anything and everything is included in spirit. That's why in the Bible says God created and all was good, because all is good in spirit. Spirit doesn't know good from bad. But when you're trying to manifest something, you want a white plate, and then that food and the energy you put in that food represents what it is that you want to manifest. That's why you want a white plate. Also, when you go to other cultures and you start paying attention, they will use a square plate as opposed to a round plate. And the reason why is because spirit is represented as a circle, but when you square the circle or you stretch the circle into angles of a square, now you're causing angles of light. And anything that does with light does. So now you're causing angles of light. So anytime you put an angle to something, you're now manifesting. This is for my people who's into geometry, who's into spells, cough, I ain't going to say no names. But into wants to learning stuff on how to do other stuff with food and make sure, you're putting all that you can into your family or just into yourself and create life the way you want. This is why you have square plates. You want square plates. When you do rectangular plates, I will talk about this. When you want to do rectangular plates, anything rectangular is considered a door. So when you do a rectangular plate, you open a doorway into something else. So you better be very careful on how you felt and what you put into the energy when you cook something, when you're going to put it onto a rectangular plate, onto either a circular table or a square table or whatever. That's the food you want people to take into. People don't realize with food and things like that is highly spiritual. What you put in is what you get out. As the Bible says, it's not what comes out the body that defiles it, but what you put in that defiles the body. So that also goes into.
Ooh, okay. And I'm sorry, I just got a message. And also, and then I guess we're gonna go because I think I'm. The other thing is, this is how serious it is. what's a table? What does a table represent? An altar.
Sex.
No food.
Oh, an altar.
Excuse me.
But the table represents the altar. And see, we've gotten away from the altar and we just put the food in our lap. Now the lap is the altar, and everything that it feels like is being dumped in our lap is because where are we putting the plate when we're eating in front of the TV, watching football, basketball, Real Housewives of blah, 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 blah. And the world is being dumped on your lap because your altar is now your lap. So you want to change that. Change the way you see things, change the way you serve food, change the way you eat food, change the way you cook it, set the mood, set the tone, especially ladies. Set the tone for the person that you're with, if it's you and your family, if you're a single mom, if it's just you yourself, set the mood, make it an experience, enjoy that experience, and yeah, we had another commercial, but that's okay, we don't need it. Enjoy the process and taste the food. Y'all, we have obesity real bad because we don't taste it. We don't even chew. Take the time to chew the stuff that you're eating. Chewing is taking in the thoughts, the ideas of whoever it is that cooked it. That's why we're jumping to the gun and we swallow it whole because we really don't like the way it tastes or the way it sounds to our spirit. So take the time, chew slowly, and appreciate the food that you're eating. Go ahead, Diyah.
Yeah, thank you, ladies. I just want to say thank you, ladies. I'm about to go, but I appreciate talking to you all.
Thank you for coming.
You are more than welcome, Madam O.
All right, y'all have a blessed evening.
You too, honey.
You too,
all right, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
But yes, what I was saying, if you know when you're chewing, you're quiet, and as you're chewing, you start going into your. That's how old school people. Because you're meant to chew, and as you're chewing, you're thinking of your thoughts, and then you're starting to find the thoughts of what you're intaking, and then you're understanding exactly what's going on with you, and you're supposed to do that because what you put in is what will come out. So I just want to put that there, but we're about to go out because we don't want to go that long into overtime. So, Shani, how can people find you? It's supposed to
Our guest. Don't do me first. Be a nice house guest.
Eric.
Something's not right. Something's not right with you. I promise you, something's not right. It's just something's not right. Wow. For real?
So how can we find you, Eric? Seriously, how can we find you?
You can find me on Blog Talk Radio, Common Sense Conversations. I do a show every Monday night. Let me see, what time do I start? What? Huh?
Oh, I was just making sure it was Mondays. That's all. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's Mondays. Check me out. 10 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. Central. We talk about just about anything that comes up under the sun. Mostly social commentary dealing with community issues. You can also find me on Facebook, Common Sense Conversations, the fan page. You can find me there as well. That's it. That's it.
Awesome. All right, lovely. Wonderful. Diyah, how can we get in touch with you?
Okay. You can find me, obviously, every Tuesday night right here at 11 p.m. Eastern on the Gumbo Cafe on Woman Radio with my beautiful sister, love, and whatever I should call her, soul sister, star sister, whatever other connection you can make. You can find me right here with Shani Fenderson every Tuesday night at 11 p.m. on Woman Radio. You can also find me once a month on WTLC. Did I say that right? WTLC
yes,
Talk Radio. Okay. WTLC Talk Radio on with Practical Spirituality with my other host, which is Glenn Witch, who I love to death. Hopefully we'll get Shani on there sooner or later, but, just putting it out there. Our next show will be October 17th at 11 p.m. You can also find me on Erotic Talk Radio on their full moon shows, which is also once a month, either before or during the full moon. You can find me on YouTube and other social medias at Orioasis, ORIOASIS.com. You can go to my website, which is Ori's Oasis, ORISOASIS.com. And then you can email me if you have any spiritual questions. Keyword spiritual questions. Don't ask me other stuff because I'm just going to push it to Shiny or just ignore the hell out of you. So you can find me on, if you want to email with stuff, you can email me at Ori's Oasis, ORISOASIS@gmail.com. Also, you can now find me on Witches of the Moon every Friday doing spiritual topics on Witches of the Moon, YouTube, youtube.com//witchesofthemoon.com. That's how you can find me. And that's too much.
What time is that show?
It's not a show. That's a YouTube channel. So every Friday, I normally post at 6:30 a.m. If you want to just watch me. You can find me doing the spiritual topics that they already have scheduled. About by 6:30 a.m. you'll be able to watch me, or you can watch other people on that channel, and you just have to look for every Friday for the new topic.
Awesome, because I was like, we still got Friday nights we got to do, boo. Anyway.
We do, boo.
Your Fridays is busy, girl.
No. My Fridays is but go ahead. We can work out Friday evenings.
Congratulations, by the way, on the new one, and much love. And you guys don't know half the stuff. Diyah does the majority of the tech work. It's not that I can't do it. She just has a better system than I do. But I appreciate all that you do, Diyah, with uploading the videos and stuff on YouTube and keeping us locked down. We possibly will be back on Google Plus next week at a Hangout. Is it Google Plus?
We'll be back. No. We'll be back on Google Plus after Mercury retrograde.
Yeah, after Mercury retrograde. So you probably won't see that till November. So, yeah, because it's Mercury retrograde right now with the way communication is going, people. If you're wondering what's kind of off a little bit, that might be what's happening with you. Just study it or ask you those questions.
I'm going to plug myself. Thank you for saying it, because I was about to plug myself. If you want to know what Mercury retrograde is, you can go to my website. Not my website, my YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/Ori's Oasis, or ORISS.com. And just type in Mercury retrograde. I have more than one video on Mercury retrograde. I also have one that just went up for this particular retrograde that will be live in a few hours that deals with this one particular and how it will affect you. So, yeah.
Awesomeness. And then you guys can find my big head on ShaniFenderson.com. You can also find me here every Tuesday night at 11 p.m. Eastern at the Gumbo Cafe with Diyah. That's my boo. And then also you can find me on all social media sites. Well, actually, no, not all. You can find me at MAYLODI on Twitter. On Instagram, it's MAYLODI72. YouTube, it's Shani Fenderson. I have a couple other channels, but, don't pay attention to the other ones if you do type in MAYLODI. But you can also find Hidden Alchemy for those who are interested in the alchemy side of life and nature and everything that comes along with it. Go to Hidden Alchemy 72 on YouTube as well. You guys, we are out of this mug. I am out of that hot car. Thank you, Eric, for being here. Thank you, Miss O, for being here as well. Appreciate you. Mike, we saw you, but you didn't stay in, but we saw you, though. Y'all have a good evening. We out.
Noches.
Mm-hmm.